it's amazing how fast these young dogs catch on if you just give them the space to kind of screw up and figure it out on their own.
Yeah, I shoot mishandled and unhandled birds for my Finnish dogs while I'm here. I'm here to hunt, man. And I think it's something people yeah, I think training with your shotgun's great if you're in wild birds all the time, but like I'm here max 2 weeks out of the year. If I get to travel any more than this, like I'm really lucky. I'll sort out whatever I got to sort out at home. I'm not going to make a crazy chasing fool up here out of a finished dog, but I shot a stopped flush or I shot at a stopped flush for Pete and did not connect on this trip. And I would do that tomorrow. I would shoot at the bird that got up 40 yards behind him. I would shoot at a bird that flushed wild off to my right while he was running to my left. I don't care. Like if a grouse gets up and gives me a look while I'm out here, I'm probably going to pull the trigger. It's just got to give me a look. And, that it's, there's times depending on where you're hunting. We were hunting a lot of dense aspen thickets early, and you can have birds flush 15 yards away from you and never get a look at them when you're in
Hmm.
stuff like that. So I have, I'm of the personal opinion if you're like gonna drop your money to come do something like this, like get out of the experience what you want.
Yeah.
If that means you want to be reserved, by all means do it. I don't withhold shots because I'm trying to train my dogs. I withhold shots because I know I'm not going to hit the bird or it's unsafe or I'm, usually doing something else like looking at my phone or got my gun broke or something like that.
All experiences every single one of us has dealt with at one point or another. How do we square that though, especially when you're advising somebody that's brand new to this and maybe they're curious, like you hear there's not a separate training season and hunting season, that you're always training. Don't let the standard slip once you get up there. How do you square that and advise the other people beyond just like, whatever you want? Because oftentimes when you talk to people barely entering the world, they don't know what they want.
All the problems people are worried about creating get created on pen raised birds with bad flying pen raised birds and bad cover in your training. And so I just think like if somebody's actually hunting their dog on wild birds, even if you shot every bird you could shoot, however it was handled, there's going to be so many contacts that's not going to happen with that. Your reinforcement history is never going to be such that it would create a problem for you. I don't think. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I agree. I 100% agree with that. Like, I think if this is all I had access to, I could go out and shoot at every bird possible, and most dogs are still going to make a bird
You'd
dog.
have a dog that probably breaks on the shot, but
Yeah, and then you can sort that out once you get to that place. You
I mean,
know.
you're kind of describing my oldest dog,
yeah,
right? So like pen raised birds out in training field, he as a young dog, like 7, 8 months old, kill it, take him to go hunt wild birds. Things happened, and I'm like Grayson, like I'm out there to hunt. I'm
yeah.
gonna shoot. So I mean, you saw some naughty things in the field from time to time, but he's figured it out. He's fine now. You can go run him on quail down south or rough grouse up here, and he handles them fine.
I,
Like
I think people forget how often I'm gonna say a bad word, how often they mess it up. Like we're always worried about the dog messing something up. How many birds you miss that were handled fantastically, right? That kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like ones it couldn't have been an easier shot, and you whiff, and so that's the other part I think on balance. Just trying to remember.
So y'all think on the average dog, what y'all just said, that y'all think we could go out there and the average bird dog with, assuming the genetics are there and they're from hunting stock, if you just go shoot every single bird out there, if they're wild birds, the dog is still going to become a wild bird dog eventually.
You said something in there that's the indicator, the key indicator, which is shoot every bird. Like I can't remember what George Evans said about like what a good grouse shot is, but I know for some of the better shots I've been with, I would say sub 25%, and that's if they're being really selective. And so if you're looking at trying to put the dropped bird on a randomized schedule, like grouse do it for you.
Right.
Right? Like
do a really good
it's
job of it.
yeah, like so, I mean the shot is a shot, and that can indicate a bird falling. For some dogs, it doesn't. For some shooters, it doesn't. My dogs are very used to hearing me shoot and not seeing a bird fall out of the sky. So, I think, yeah, I think the birds are going to carry the lion's share of the work when you're especially in grouse, but in most wild birds, and I think probably quail, if you had access to them, would be similar to some degree, but yeah, I think if you had these opportunities to go hunt, then go hunt. And if you got to deal with training stuff, then remember that. And I guess there are some things that I might consider in the field. Most of them are just going to be willful, kind of renegade young dog stuff, but it's more about handle than it is about your bird work.